Africa must revert to what it was before the imperialists divided it. These are artificial divisions which we, in our Pan-African concept, will seek to remove. We have fought for our land, we have fought for our sovereignty. Small as we are, we have won our independence, and we are prepared to shed our blood. So Blair, keep your England and let me keep my Zimbabwe. I am still the Hitler of the time. This Hitler has only one objective: justice for his people, sovereignty for his people, recognition of the independence of his people and their rights over their resources. If that is Hitler, then let me be Hitler tenfold. 10 times, that is what we stand for. Cricket civilizes people and creates good gentlemen. I want everyone to play cricket in Zimbabwe. I want ours to be a nation of gentlemen. Some of us were embarrassed, if not frightened, by what appeared to be the return of the biblical giant Gold Goliath. Are we having a return of Goliath to our midst who threatens the extinction of other countries? May I say to the United States President, Mr. Trump, please blow your trumpet. Blow your trumpet in a musical way toward the values of unity, peace, cooperation, togetherness, and dialogue, which we have always stood for. We don't mind having sanctions banning us from Europe. We are not Europeans. I have died many times. That's where I have beaten Christ. Christ died once and resurrected once. I have died and resurrected, and I don't know how many times I will die and resurrect. I wanted children, and this is how I thought I could get them. I knew what I was doing, and my wife knew. It could never be a correct justification that because the whites oppressed us yesterday when they had power, the blacks must oppress them today. The British were brought up as violent people, liars, scoundrels, and crooks. I'm told that Blair was a troublesome little boy at school. African resources belong to Africa. Others may come to assist as our friends and allies, but no longer as colonizers or oppressors, no longer as racists. I asked one ANC minister, how come the whites have been left with so much power? And he said it was because of your friend Mandela. That was an ANC minister who was saying that. Mandela went too far in doing good to the non-black communities, really in some cases at the expense of blacks. That's being too saintly, too good. We have this American President Obama, born of an African father, who is saying, we will not give you aid if you don't embrace homosexuality. We ask, was he born out of homosexuality? We need continuity in our race, and that comes from the woman, and no to homosexuality. Let Mr. Bush read history correctly. Let him realize that both personally and in his representative capacity as the current President of the United States, he stands for this civilization, which occupied, which colonized, which incarcerated, which killed. He has much to atone for. His hands drip with the innocent blood of many nationalities. We will never allow an event like an election to reverse our independence, our sovereignty. We equally reject attempts to prescribe new rights that are contrary to our values, norms, traditions, and beliefs. We are not gays. There are things one must do for oneself. Don't drink at all, don't smoke, you must exercise and eat vegetables and fruit. We pride ourselves on being top, really, on the African ladder. We feel that we have actually been advancing rather than going backwards. I have been given a list of 35 white farmers in Mashonaland West alone. We say no to whites owning our land, and they should go. They can own companies and apartment, but not the soil. It is ours, and that message should ring loud and clear in Britain and the United States. Grooming a successor. Is it an inheritance? In a Democratic Party, you don't want leaders appointed that way. They have to be appointed properly by the people. Our party must continue to strike fear in the heart of the white man, our real enemy. In most recent times, as the West started being hostile to us, we deliberately declared a Look East policy. Cooperation and respect for each other will advance the cause of human rights worldwide. Confrontation, vilification, and double standards will not. Our votes must go together with our guns. After all, any vote we shall have been the product of the gun. The gun which produces the vote should remain its security officer, its guarantor. The people's votes and the people's guns are always inseparable twins. We of Africa protest that in this day and age we should continue to be treated as lesser human beings than other races. Was it not enough punishment and suffering in history that we were uprooted and made helpless slaves not only in new colonial outposts but also domestically? Zimbabwe will never be a colony again. Countries such as the US and Britain have taken it upon themselves to decide for us in the developing world, even to interfere in our domestic affairs and to bring about what they call regime change. I am glad that Zimbabwe and China speak the same language on many issues. We share the same conviction that only a fair, just, and non-prescriptive world order, based on the principles of the Charter of the United Nations, can deliver the development we all need. The white man is not indigenous to Africa. Africa is for Africans, Zimbabwe is for Zimbabweans. It may be necessary to use methods other than constitutional ones. Stay with us, please, and constitute a nation based on national unity. The British apparently have no standards to guide them, and if they do, they will be misfiring. Since I am here, I will take care of them. If there is any country that should be considered for sanctions, it is Britain for interfering in the affairs of Zimbabwe. Blair, who was he? Just the Prime Minister if Britain. I am the President of Zimbabwe. How can these countries who have stolen land from the Red Indians, the Aborigines, and the Eskimos dare to tell us what to do with our land? My decision to resign is voluntary on my part. It arises from my concern for the welfare of the people of Zimbabwe and my desire to ensure a smooth, peaceful, and non-violent transfer of power that underpins national security, peace, and stability